Breaking news from the Red Sea. An unprecedented event is unfolding tonight, sending shockwaves through military and economic circles worldwide. The American aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, a symbol of U.S. naval dominance, has come under attack in these volatile waters. Reports confirm significant damage, with thick smoke billowing from the flight deck. The world watches in disbelief as images of the stricken carrier circulate, raising urgent questions about global security. For decades, these mighty carriers have represented American power and stability, projecting strength across the world's oceans and deterring threats far from home. Tonight, that image is shattered, leaving allies and adversaries alike to reconsider the balance of power at sea. The Pentagon has confirmed an incident but remains tight-lipped, offering only vague statements. This lack of clarity fuels confusion, anxiety, and fear both in Washington and abroad. The Red Sea is now in chaos. Commercial vessels have ground to a halt, their captains desperately seeking guidance as uncertainty reigns. Panic and uncertainty ripple through this vital shipping lane, as anxious crews await instructions and hope for safety. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points, has become a potential kill zone overnight. Insurance rates skyrocket, shipping companies scramble to reroute vessels, and billions of dollars in global trade hang in the balance, threatening supply chains everywhere. This is not just a military crisis, it's the beginning of an economic catastrophe that could ripple across continents. The attack did not come from a rival superpower, but from Yemen's Houthi rebels. Armed with advanced drones and anti-ship ballistic missiles, they have crossed a line few believed possible, demonstrating a new level of threat from non-state actors. The world is thrust into uncharted territory as leaders scramble to assess the implications of this brazen attack. How severe is the damage? Are there casualties among the crew? The fate of those on board remains uncertain. The question on everyone's mind: how will the United States respond to this direct provocation? The White House is in emergency session. America's allies demand answers and reassurance as the world holds its breath. The global order feels more fragile than ever, as if it could fracture at any moment under the weight of this crisis. Tonight, the Red Sea carries not just ships, but the hopes and fears of a world teetering on the edge of a new era. The attack on the Eisenhower is more than a strike on a ship. It's a direct challenge to the post-war global system and the rules that have governed the seas for generations. The world watches, anxiously awaiting America's next move, knowing that what happens next could reshape the future. The stakes have never been higher. Every decision now carries enormous consequences for peace and stability. The rules of the game have changed, and the world must adapt to a new and uncertain reality. The Red Sea is the lifeblood of global trade connecting Europe and Asia. 12% of world commerce passes through its narrow straits each year. The Suez Canal at its northern end is a shortcut that saves weeks and billions in shipping costs. When this artery is blocked, the world feels it. Delays, higher prices, and economic pain. The region's stability isn't just a local issue. It affects wallets in London, Tokyo, and New York. Control over the Bab el-Mandeb Strait means leverage over the global economy. The U.S. Navy's presence was meant to guarantee safe passage. Tonight's attack upends that assumption. The Houthis have shown they can threaten this vital choke point, halting global shipping. Their local conflict now has global consequences. The Red Sea is the center of a new international crisis. Who are the Houthis? Once dismissed as a fringe movement, the Houthis have become one of the most influential and controversial groups in the Middle East. Originating as a marginalized group in Yemen's rugged northern mountains, they long struggled for local autonomy and the right to practice their Zaidi Shia faith without interference. For years, they were overlooked by both the Yemeni government and the wider world. The chaos unleashed by the Arab Spring gave them an unexpected opening. They seized Yemen's capital, Sana'a, in a dramatic move that ignited a brutal civil war and drew in a Saudi-led military coalition determined to push them back. Years of relentless conflict have hardened the Houthis, transforming them from a guerrilla movement into a formidable, battle-tested force with significant military capabilities. With crucial support from Iran, they've acquired advanced weaponry, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and sophisticated drones, giving them the power to strike far beyond Yemen's borders. Their ambitions have grown dramatically. The Houthis now see themselves as a key part of a regional axis of resistance, aligning with Iran and Hezbollah in opposition to the US and Israel. Their slogan, "Death to America, death to Israel" is no longer just empty rhetoric, it's a rallying cry that shapes their actions and strategy. By launching attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea, they're not just making headlines, they're imposing real costs on the West for its support of Israel, disrupting vital shipping lanes and global commerce. The Houthis have evolved from local insurgents into regional disruptors, capable of projecting power and influence far beyond Yemen. Today they can threaten global trade routes and even challenge the military presence of a superpower like the United States. Their actions have forced the world to pay attention, drawing in diplomats, military strategists, and global leaders to address the growing crisis. The Red Sea crisis is their message to the world. Ignore us at your peril. Their reach now extends to the heart of international trade. The stakes are no longer just Yemen's, they're global, affecting economies and security far beyond the Middle East. The world must now contend with a new kind of threat, one that is unpredictable, determined, and unwilling to back down. The Houthis practice asymmetric warfare. They can't match the US Navy ship for ship, so they don't try. Instead, they adapt, using unconventional tactics to level the playing field against a much stronger adversary. Instead, they use cheap drones and missiles to exploit vulnerabilities. These low-cost weapons are easy to deploy and hard to defend against, making them ideal tools for a group with limited resources. Their goal isn't to sink a carrier, but to create chaos, fear, and economic pain. By targeting vital shipping lanes, they disrupt global trade and force powerful nations to react. A single drone costs thousands, intercepting it costs millions. This economic imbalance puts constant pressure on the defender, draining resources over time. The US must stop every threat, every time. The Houthis only need one to get through. The margin for error is razor thin, and the stakes are incredibly high. This war of attrition favors the attacker. Each new strike increases the strain on defenses and heightens the risk of a successful hit. The psychological toll is immense. Crews are on edge, every radar blip a potential threat. Fatigue and stress build with each alert, wearing down even the most seasoned sailors. The attacks generate headlines, Project Houthi strength, and expose American vulnerability. The world watches as a small group challenges a superpower. The narrative is powerful. A non-state actor can hold global commerce hostage. The ripple effects are felt in markets and boardrooms worldwide. The Eisenhower attack is the culmination of this strategy. It's a bold statement that no target is truly safe, no matter how well defended. Even limited damage is a psychological and political victory. It shakes confidence and forces leaders to reconsider their approach. The world's shipping is paralyzed, and Washington faces a crisis. The stakes extend far beyond the battlefield, affecting economies and alliances. Asymmetric warfare turns strength into weakness. Superior firepower becomes a liability when it can't guarantee security. The Houthis have mastered the art of disruption. Their tactics force their enemies to fight on their terms, not the other way around. The battle is as much about perception as firepower. In this new era of conflict, winning the narrative can be as decisive as winning the fight itself. A US aircraft carrier is a floating fortress, shielded by advanced warships and missile defenses. The Aegis system can track and intercept hundreds of targets, while phalanx guns shred incoming threats. On paper, it's nearly impenetrable, designed to stop major military powers. But the Houthi threat is different. Swarms of cheap drones and erratic missiles overwhelm defenses. The system must distinguish real threats from false alarms in a crowded airspace. It's a saturation tactic designed to exhaust resources and crews. Every interceptor fired is one less in the magazine. The Houthis can keep launching. The longer the US Navy stays, the more strained its resources become. The cost of defense is becoming unsustainable. The Eisenhower attack proves that even billion-dollar systems have limits. One successful strike is enough to cause panic and force a strategic rethink. America's floating fortresses are vulnerable in the age of cheap, clever threats. The future of naval warfare is being rewritten in the Red Sea. The Houthis' growing power is fueled by Iran. Tehran supports proxy groups across the Middle East, projecting influence and challenging rivals without direct confrontation. Iran supplies the Houthis with weapons, training, and intelligence, transforming them into a regional force. Iranian-designed missiles and drones now threaten global shipping. For Iran, this is a low-cost way to bog down the US and pressure its allies. Every Houthi attack is a win for Tehran, showing it can challenge America without direct conflict. The US faces a dilemma: respond to the Houthis and risk escalation with Iran, or hold back and appear weak. The shadow war in the Red Sea is a perilous test of American strategy. The attack has paralyzed the shipping industry. Major lines have suspended Red Sea transit. The alternative route around Africa adds weeks and massive costs. Fuel expenses soar, insurance premiums skyrocket, and global supply chains are thrown into chaos. Scarcity drives up freight rates and delays shipments worldwide. Consumers will soon feel the impact: shortages, higher prices, and rising inflation. Oil and gas prices are likely to climb as tankers take longer routes. This economic turmoil is exactly what the Houthis and Iran want: leverage over the West. A small group is holding the global economy hostage. The pain is designed to create political pressure and force tough choices. The attack on the Eisenhower is a military act, but its greatest weapon is economic shock. The world is learning how fragile its prosperity really is. The Red Sea crisis is a warning: instability anywhere can ripple everywhere. In Washington, the president faces a fateful decision. The Eisenhower attack demands a response. Inaction would shatter U.S. credibility and embolden adversaries. Retaliatory strikes on Houthi targets could degrade their capabilities, but risk deeper entanglement in Yemen's war. Targeting Iran would risk all-out regional conflict and global economic disaster. Every option is fraught with risk: military, economic, and political. The administration may combine limited strikes, sanctions, and diplomacy, but there are no easy answers. The dilemma: restore deterrence without triggering a wider war. The world watches as the U.S. navigates a treacherous path. The next move will set a precedent for future crises. The stakes are global, and the consequences will echo for years. The Red Sea is now a test of American resolve and restraint. The world holds its breath. The Eisenhower attack signals a new era in global conflict. Cheap drones and missiles now threaten even the world's most advanced militaries. Asymmetric warfare has leveled the playing field. Superpower dominance is no longer guaranteed. The U.S. and its allies must adapt to dispersed, low-cost threats. Old models of deterrence may not work against groups with little to lose. The Red Sea crisis exposes the fragility of global trade and security. Protecting vital arteries is now an urgent challenge. The world waits for America's response. Will it escalate or de-escalate? The smoke over the Red Sea is a warning. The rules have changed, and the future is uncertain. The waters ahead are dark and dangerous.